Good Thursday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. Want to share with you some temperatures. We've got some very cold air in place right now. Some areas are much colder than others. In fact, some are actually much milder. Look at the plateau. What's going on there? They're at 44 degrees. 44 degrees in Crossville. Well, it's 36 degrees in Knoxville, and it's freezing in Rockwood. You need a scorecard just this morning to know how to dress. Because you might not say, I don't need that big of a coat if it's 44 in Cumberland County, but I certainly need a coat if I'm in Jack Sparrow, Campbell County, because it's 28 degrees there, all over the map. Even our friends in Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, are in the upper 20s this morning. So we have some variability, to say the least. I want to say good morning to you. Oh, by the way, the visibility, not too bad this morning. Not worried about fog, although that's often a question that we've had over the last couple of months. But visibility is 10 miles as far as visibility. But I'm on YouTube and I'm on Facebook this morning. Want to say good morning to you. We've got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about some snow. We're going to talk about some cold. We're going to talk about a pattern change that certainly the models are still struggling to define, but that's what they do. That's kind of where they're finding the solution. And we're going to talk about where I think our ultimate destination will be in the coming weeks. But if you're on the call, I'm on YouTube. I see Marilyn Bell. I'm over here on YouTube all alone. No, you're not. Someone's going to join you, Marilyn. Thank you for being here. She says, someone come join me. Happy Thursday. Thank you, Marilyn, for being on YouTube. And as far as Facebook is concerned, if you have a comment, Fred's the first one to chime in here. He says, good morning, David, 33 degrees. I'm in Maryville now. Thank you, Fred. So everybody has some differences in temperature. That's fine. That's to be expected when you have, I'd say, some high clouds aloft, but certainly there's some warm air trying to move into town. I can show you that here momentarily. The ultimate Doppler radar does not show showers at this time, but this time tomorrow morning, they'll be there. Oh, yes, the ultimate Doppler radar, presented by Matlock Tire Service and Auto Repair, East Tennessee's #1 tire shop and auto repair since 1953. They've been doing this for over 70 years, locally owned and operated. They're in Knoxville. They're in Maryville. They've got a location in Lenoir City, which is convenient for many of you. How about Athens, McMinn County? They've got a location there and one in Hardin Valley. So pick your favorite place. You can get an oil change. You can get an alignment. You can have some help with your brakes, tire repair, tire rotation, and so much more. But you can go to MadlockTireService.com. I got a link at the top of this post where you can schedule your own appointment when it's convenient for you. By the way, you don't see much in the way of rain here, but if we look around the country, things have quieted down across Florida. The concern for severe weather today is going to be up towards Chicago. Well, that's strange. There's some wind advisories in Brown and Iowa, but Chicago, really? Yeah, there could be some isolated severe storms. We'll look at that here in a few moments, but it's snowing. I think it's snowing in blue. Parts of Montana and across the upper plain states. While it may be raining around Minneapolis, St. Paul, they still have some numerous pink areas which refer to winter storm warnings from the National Weather Service in places like Colorado, Utah, even Arizona, dealing with winter storm warnings. So it's been a very interesting, powerful system that first hit California. They're still dealing with flood watches in LA. They don't seem to get a break, as they're still dealing with a lot of wet weather and unsettled weather out west. Back to the temperatures, though. How different is it for you? We now see a movement there at 30 now in Sevierville. It's 28 Jack Sparrow. We heard from Fred. He's got 33 degrees, I believe he said. So if you've got a comment, let me know. I would love to see what you're seeing. And as far as YouTube, back on the YouTube, I got Marilyn Bell. She's on here. And if you're on the call, I'd love to hear from you because I'll do my best to answer your questions as I go through the next few minutes. It is now 6:43. I want to bring you up to speed. I can give you the temperatures here. Let me go back over here because I take notes. That's what I do. 63 was the high yesterday. That was expected. We started the morning off at 30. That was also expected. Normal high 51, normal low 32. And the record low today, how low do you think we'd have to go to be in near record lows this morning? If I said -7, would that be like reasonable? Yeah, -7. The year was 1895. Some people like to question, well, how reliable was that temperature? You'd be surprised. If you go back, because I worked in Philadelphia, our founding fathers took measurements back during the Constitutional Convention. Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, we had some records going back there. So you got to give it to them. They did take measurements even in 1895, which was much later than 1776. But 1895, the record low for Knoxville, -7. We did hit 75 on this date in 1937 and 1900. So if you're interested, some history buffs might like the fact that context is also a good thing. Right now it's 36 degrees in Knoxville. We have 37 in Oak Ridge, and you're waking up this morning in Morristown at 37. Don't see much in the way of wind right now. No wind. In fact, where there is a bit of a wind, I'm looking at Jamestown, 8 miles an hour. I'm looking at Oneida, Crossville, 7 miles an hour. So where there's a wind moving, it may actually drop the feels like temperature or wind chill into the upper 30s in some cases, maybe even lower 30s. But you can see there's a lot of warm air transport. We call it warm air advection, moving into Memphis, Jackson, Nashville at 50 right now, and 54 in Paducah. And all those little red arrows are indicative of the winds. They're moving up from the south-southwest, so they're keeping their temperatures up a little bit higher than we are. But boy, does it drop off in the Carolinas. They're all in the upper 20s to near 30. I see 29 in Charlotte, 29 in Asheville, and it's 29 right now in Columbia. I'm sure they're not too thrilled down there to be at 29 degrees this morning. But that's where we are at this particular time. It is 6:46. We have a lot of high clouds to appear once the sun is up, and the sun will be coming up in just about 45 minutes from now. But those blue areas represent the thicker clouds, and they also indicate where we have colder cloud tops. So the colder cloud tops, in this case, representing more thicker clouds moving across the valley. I want to show you the sunrise sunset time. It is now precisely at 7:30. Isn't that easy to remember? Our sun comes up at 7:30 now, and it doesn't go to bed until 10 after 6. So our days are getting longer, and that's a bullish sign that spring will eventually come. Eventually it'll be here. We'll be watching that, I'm sure, over time. If you're on the call, let me know. I'm looking on Facebook and YouTube for any comments that might be coming in. I got Fred on here. I got Ed. Ed's got a note. He says, good morning, no drought anywhere. Well, it's been dry, but we're going to pick up a lot of rain this weekend. So if you had that concern, maybe we make up for some lost time here over time. Ed says, good morning. Jennifer Ball, good morning from Kodak, hoping for the snow next week. We'll wait and see. Again, I'll talk about that too. And it may very well be in that horseshoe configuration. So people in Knoxville go, oh, we got robbed. Well, it may be snowing pretty good tomorrow, or next week, certainly early next week for the Smokies and perhaps the Plateau. I want to talk about that here too in just a moment. But sunrise on the screen, 7:30, sunset at 6:10. It is 6:47. Let's get you out the door. This morning it's going to be, well, variable in temperature, from the 30s to the 20s, even the 40s, like Crossville. But I think uniformly most of us are in the mid-40s by 10. And for pickup that might occur at 2 to 3:30, the 2 to 3:30 time frame works for you, parents, picking up the kiddos. Temperature should be around 59, if not around 60. So my expectation today with hazy sun and clouds will be around 59 in Oak Ridge, 62 for Sevierville. And what is that going on in Tellico? 66, yeah, mid-60s will be possible in parts of the Southern Valley. I think 63 is reasonable for Newport, while it may only be 56 in Crossville. So Crossville may start warm, but they may not finish as warm as some of your neighbors. Just the way it goes. 62 in La Follette. There's a nice warm-up for you coming up since you're in the upper 20s now. And 64 is my expectation for Bell County. Good morning to Linda Rice. She says, David, hope you have a great Thursday. Thank you, Linda, for being here. As far as Jennifer's here, Fred's here, and I want to keep checking YouTube because I know Marilyn, oh, we got another YouTube comment. Michael Hawk, good to see you, sir. He says, good morning, glad to have him here. I believe he is on Team Snow, too, from previous comments that Michael Hawk has left on YouTube. He is a fan of Team Snow. Oh, we're going to talk about that momentarily. It is 6:48 with these clouds overhead. You notice there's not a lot of green here. It's just clouds. Clouds will come in first, and eventually late tonight, I'm thinking after, say, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and certainly after midnight, some spots of rain will multiply, and we'll have some showers to greet us at this time tomorrow morning. So hazy sun and clouds today, part of the headlines. Rainy at times with some rumbles of thunder to end the work week. Well, end the week. We may have some rumbles tomorrow, but then we move into Saturday. We have more rain. Sunday, a little bit of a pullback, and then a lot of rain on Monday, but as it departs in the typical horseshoe configuration, snowflakes will arrive late Monday night, especially for the Smokies, and to a lesser extent, the Plateau in southeast Kentucky. It's just the way it goes. This is not going to define winter. This is just like another priming of the pump, right? We're going to change the pattern. It has to start somewhere. As I tell my premium members, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't assume that this is all there is, because there will be more opportunities going down the road. In fact, let me show you the rain, because that's going to be the biggest issue. Maybe see some locally higher amounts. Yes, we could. Let's take you through 5 o'clock today. No rain. Take you through tomorrow morning and into Friday at 5 p.m. Some of us have picked up a half inch of rain. I'm looking at Kingston, Oak Ridge, over a ½ inch based on this model run, and about a third of an inch in La Follette. So again, by 5 o'clock Friday, we've added a little bit of rain. ½ inch in some cases, maybe the Southern Valley, Athens, Tellico Plains, hardly 1/10 of an inch, just 600ths it looks like there. But again, these things will vary depending on where these showers and storms develop. But the heavier rains certainly arrive on Saturday. This is 5 o'clock, and we picked up over an inch in many locations. 1.5 inches in Wartburg, 1.5 inches in Oneida, based on the latest run. Now, you go into Sunday, you said there would be a pullback. Yes, but this is a cumulative amount, so you're over 2 inches in yellow. So Crossville, Oak Ridge, Wartburg, 2 inches. Now, that's 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to take us to 5 p.m. Sunday. So from 8 a.m. Sunday, 5 p.m. Sunday, there's not much movement. Watch the clock. Okay, there's the clock. Nothing moved. Nothing moved. That's because I only have a 30% chance of rain on Sunday. It's going to be like really early in the morning, and then it's going to pick up Sunday night. So most of Sunday, if you have outdoor plans, if you're headed to church, I think you'll be fine. I think you're going to find that the weather dries up a little bit, but then it comes racing back Sunday night. Into Monday, you can see some of the colors coming back. But there could be over 2-3 inches in rain, and possibly in some models, that we see this develop. As far as temperatures, we talked about how warm it is out west. Memphis is at 52. Well, Knoxville is at 36. And it's now only 9 in Caribou. Wait a minute. They were in the 30s and 20s last night from Bismarck to Caribou. Yeah, there's a sign that there's some really cold air beginning to form. And I've asked this question, who's hungry for more snow? Well, everybody who's on Team Snow is hungry for more snow. That's obvious. But I'm not sure Team Spring is totally convinced. As I've said, the winter's main course may start later this month and last well into the month of March. We talk about this on Premium because things change, and this may actually be an extended period of winter that may not please those who are ready for spring, because we've had such pleasant weather the last couple of days. Certainly that's been on the table, but the Arctic blast in purple will come down in chunks. And if you need more evidence, I can show you that as well. In fact, I want to show you some evidence from somebody else other than me. I think you've been, okay, what are you talking about? I'm talking about NOAA. I'm talking about the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has the 16th of February to the 22nd, which includes President's Day, that's Washington's birthday on the 19th, that it's below average. Well, that's weird. Is it that weird? Is it really weird that they have most of the southeast and east coast really well below normal? Well, that's even stranger. So you mean there's some evidence that we're going to go back to winter? Yes, that's what I've been saying. And so if you think that in weather that, the future doesn't always equal the past, or the past doesn't always equal, the future doesn't equal the present, you can't just assume that because it's sunny and always nice now, that it will be that way in the future. We see signs of this changing, and I want you to be prepared. Whether that means perhaps more firewood, more winter mindset, that you might have to actually turn on the heat pump to emergency heat if we get below 15 degrees. It could be that cold. Down the road, I want you to be prepared as we will see the temperature outlook change. And again, that's from our friends at NOAA. Now, these models, which I'm showing you here at 5,000 feet, show some of the really cold air in purple around Winnipeg and sliding toward Montreal. Seems like it's bottled up there now, but notice by the time we get to the 13th, what day is that? That's Tuesday. Yeah, you said there could be some snow in the Smokies. Yeah, look at how much sharply colder it looks at 7 a.m. on Tuesday. So really late Monday night, Tuesday morning, there could be that classic horseshoe effect where some snowflakes appear in the plateau in southeast Kentucky and especially the Smokies. So some cold air will come down. Doesn't have to be arctically cold like it is in Montreal and Canada and up toward Maine, but there will be some opportunities. That's Valentine's Day. Now we're into the 16th or so, and the models are still trying to figure this out. So I do think we're going to find much colder air going down the road as our friends, and there's more spin. There's right there. Oh, that could be another snowmaker. What day is that? It's 22nd. So again, until we get closer within 3 days, will we have better confidence. But I can tell you, if you follow the cold, the snow will follow, or something like that. If you focus on the cold air and tracking it, the snow will eventually follow. You need more evidence? I could do that for you too. I could show you that the snow, this is all new snow projection. Wow, that's a lot of snow. But it's not, doesn't look like it's not, well, okay. If it's off a few miles, but my goodness. I mean, I'm looking at over 2 feet of snow in West Virginia on that. That's crazy snow. It wouldn't take much. A little movement to the left, a little movement to the south, a little bit movement. Anything could change. So I want you to be prepared and not be surprised. That's what I do. So weather doesn't surprise you. Does that make sense?
A lot of snow still could potentially come down the road. If you're on the call, say hi to you. Michael Hawk says still keeping faith. He's on Team Snow. He's on Team Snow. He's waiting for this to come back around. I believe it will. It will come back around. By the way, we'll look over toward Jennifer. She's on Team Spring. Jennifer Davis, Frost Home, thank you so much for being here. I love it. And Danny Feedback says, David, hope you have a great day. Go Vols. I love it. Go Vols. And Rick Diamond. Good to see Rick Diamond. Good morning to him. I remember Rick from doing my Tennessee spotlights not long ago. It seems like a long time ago, which we'll get back to later this spring. By the way, it is cold and snowy in many parts of the country this morning, especially out to the west. Right now we have 36 degrees. No wind to speak of right now. Wind chill not a factor at the moment. But here's my planner. As it's now 6:55, my goal is to be done here in the next 5 minutes. Temperature should be around 60 today. Some will be cooler, some will be warmer. As I mentioned, Tellico Plains could be around 66 today. But the average high is 51, and with hazy sun and clouds, our temperatures will be climbing into the 50s, certainly before midday. Precipitation chances goes from 60% tomorrow to 80% on Saturday, and Saturday night. We can include Saturday night as a soggy, thunderstormy time. But then there's a big pullback during the daylight hours of Sunday, only 30%. And then it comes back Sunday night. We get some downpours potentially on Monday, and that changes over to the horseshoe effect of some snow flurries, snow showers. I'm really not expecting much. Maybe in a flurry for Knoxville. I would keep your expectations low for Knox County for Monday night. By the way, the Storm Prediction Center shows that isolated green area up in the Chicago area. I mentioned that they, based on our analysis of our friends at Storm Prediction Center, put Chicago and Milwaukee under that risk. It's a level 1 risk. The light green would be general thunderstorms for Kalamazoo and South Bend. But if you have family in Rockford or Madison, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, or even Davenport, you might find some isolated severe storms that would affect Chicago. That could also affect air travel into O'Hare Airport. By the way, today, obviously, quiet for us, but the thunderstorm threat continues to grow on Friday. Nothing severe, but the light green suggests that even Knoxville, by Friday night, could get some rumbles of thunder. So if that scares the cat, puts the dog under the desk, well, be prepared, because they might actually be a little bit disturbed. And I think Saturday there's still potentially for some thunder, although they keep it out of the picture. Dallas, Memphis might be more inclined to get some thunder, but I think it's still on the table. Here's my futurecast. It shows you by 8 o'clock today. This morning, that high ridge, big bridge of high pressure, moves away from Charlotte. It allows for more high clouds to stream in. So today will look a lot hazier. It won't have the blue sky look like it has over the last couple of days as much. But once we move into late tonight, there's 5:15, a few spots of rain start to develop, whether it be southeast Kentucky. Nashville has some rain by 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's why I think we'll see some of this on the radar at this time tomorrow. There's 7 a.m. It's raining in the plateau, not quite to Morristown yet. Based on this timing of this model, it's 7 a.m. But it will fill in, like so, by midday, and we will get some showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder as well. Then we move into Saturday. This will actually enhance like a fire hose from a fireman, right? Brings in all this heavier rain. There's 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and then it really starts to show signs of heavier rains from Memphis to Bowling Green and Nashville. Some downpours perhaps between Chattanooga and Knoxville at 9:30 Saturday night, and it just fills in like so. And eventually, once we move into another round, comes in on Sunday night into Monday, that's when the snow, the colder air will, in fact, wrap around. So our futurecast looks like this. By midday today, many of us are around mid-50s, 54, with some high clouds, which this model doesn't always see. But there's some cloudiness you can see here at 3:30. We're around 60, 56 around Crossville for a high temperature. And then by 5 o'clock, we're starting to get cooler again. Overnight lows tonight should drop down to about 44. That's my expectation. And you can see some hit or miss showers. I see one there in Knox County on this model at 6 a.m. So the spots of rain will be increasing, I think, during the course of tomorrow morning very early, and it really starts to fill in like you see here by the time we hit the middle part of the day. Maybe some rumbles are in red sliding across Morristown and Jonesville by 5 o'clock on Friday. So again, this is just an overall general view of these scattered showers expected on Friday. It is now 6:59. I'm finishing on time. I love it. Hazy sun and clouds. How about the winds today? About 5 to 10. That's about it. I think Wanda Poe was asking about that. Southwest winds 5 to 10 and highs around 60 today. So not bad. In fact, yesterday was 63, so we'll be close to that. Certainly, I think 63 is on the table for Newport Incog County, as well as Cosby, Parrotsville. And if you're in Tellico Plains, Madisonville, about 66, but 10 degrees cooler if you're in Crossville. 56 for you, 61 Oneida, and expecting a high of 64 in Middlesboro. Take a look at the temperatures. If you're traveling today, about 64 for Nashville, while it will be a little cooler in the upper 50s for Greensboro, Charlotte 59, about 59 for Atlanta, Georgia. Here's your forecast for tonight. Down to 44, a pair of 4s. Spotty rain develops late, but it's a mostly cloudy night. Winds 0 to 5, generally out of the southwest if they're moving at all. Tonight, 42 for the low in Wartburg, 40 for Tellico, 40 degrees for a low in Morristown. Talbot and Russellville, White Pine, 42 for Kingston. I'm looking for a low about 43 for Seymour, as well as about Maryville, Alcoa, and 39 for Newport. Your low temperature first thing tomorrow morning with the rain that begins to spread in from the west. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville, East Tennessee. I got it 60 again tomorrow. Well, some of you will hardly get out of the upper 50s with the rain that moves in. Then we move into Saturday at 64. It gets warmer. But then the front drops in. We have temperatures falling down to about 30 on Tuesday morning. And that will be cold enough to produce some snowflakes in some of the surrounding areas. So it's really a rain event on Monday that might just be capped off with a few flakes just to change the pattern. Oh, yes, and love is in the air. Next Wednesday, hint, hint, guys, we have only 7 days left to get whatever present that you need to get, or dinner reservations, whatever you need to arrange. You have until Wednesday of next week for Valentine's Day. I'm looking for a high of 53, but there will be some up and down changes here as we go right through President's Day, I'm convinced. Anyway, I want to check in again with you. If you're on the call, thank you for your time. It is now 7:01. I did finish the meat of the forecast, the bulk of it. I did finish before 7. If you're on YouTube, I want to say again, special thanks to Michael Hawk and to Marilyn Bell. And back on the YouTube channel, if you have any, or Facebook, any comments, Jennifer's on here saying she's on Team Spring. There will be some opportunities for some milder air going through the next couple of days. We're back still in the 60s, so we're not done with spring just yet, but we're certainly not done with winter either. It's a back and forth, just like the tide at the ocean. Well, my name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.